Now, Mark Cox, Soapbox.
All right, folks, a little schooling this morning. How often have I told you that the left in this country, people like George Soros backing them, have one goal, and that is to tear down law and order? We've seen it time and time again. We've seen it in Ferguson. We've seen it in the Stockley verdict. We've seen it in New York, in Baltimore, and Minneapolis. Cases where liberals would rather look the other way than enforce the laws that are on the books when it comes to criminals. It's true. The border situation, in many ways, is no different, despite what the sycophants in the mainstream media have been telling you on the southern border. The left wing of this country absolutely gives them talking points. The United States of America has battered spouse syndrome. Do you understand that? We see it happening, but we stick around and continue to take the abuse. How refreshing it is when you see somebody stand up to that, like DHS Secretary Kirstjen Nielsen did yesterday. Please go to cut number 19.
The laws prohibit us from detaining families while they go through prosecution for illegally entering the border and while they go through prosecutions for immigration proceedings. If we close the loopholes, we can keep the families together, which is what they did in the last administration until a court ruled that we can no longer do that. After 20 days, we have to release both unaccompanied children and accompanied children, which means that we cannot detain families together. The only option is to not enforce the law at all.
Do you have that, children? Can I just tell you something? I felt like Katie Bailey at a Maroon 5 concert when I was watching her yesterday. I felt a shiver run down my leg when she kept schooling these idiot reporters in the mainstream media. She read them the Riot Act for parroting these Democrat talking points on this child separation issue. It's a lie. And she called them out on it. It has been U.S. law that repeat offenders, in other words, people that have broken into the country once and been sent home or have some criminal charge against them, are detained when they come back across the U.S. border. That's the law. Except Barack Obama didn't like that law if they arrived back in this country with children. Are you following along here? This is pretty simple. So his policy was to look the other way and let them into the country without holding them responsible for their actions, without separating them from whatever kids they happen to have with them. Now, folks, it didn't take long for the drug dealers and the coyotes who smuggle children to pick up on the fact that there's a big loophole in the United States law. All the Trump administration did was announce that, homie, don't play that anymore. You understand that? Secretary Nielsen couldn't have made this any more clear yesterday. And honestly, Tricia hit the nail on the head a few minutes ago. 10,000 of the 12,000 children currently being held in Hotel Rio are unaccompanied minors. Do you understand that? That means their caring parents sent them on that dangerous journey across the desert with rapists and drug smugglers all by themselves. Now, the other 2,000 kids are being held temporarily. They're all being well taken care of. They got food, they've got clothing, they got videos to watch, things they couldn't imagine in their previous life, while they wait a few days for mom or dad's wrist to be slapped, and then they're released. Listen, this adult temper tantrum is only about politics because, once again, Donald Trump has put their tit in the ringer. Do you understand that? Agreeing to the fix in this law to prevent this, the Democrats would have to agree to border security. Liberals don't see illegal immigration as the very expensive, real threat to the United States that it is. They see it as a potential voting bloc because they need power to destroy this country. That's why they want open borders. That's why they don't want a wall. This is all a reminder of why it is the left in this country who are the 5-year-old children throwing a temper tantrum while the adults stand back and watch. Why is that? Why do I say that? Why do you say that, Mark? That's not nice. Listen, if you have a kid, you know this to be the truth. Children are completely controlled by their emotions. Logic rarely plays a role. That's what you see from the left in this country. Yesterday, an adult stood up in the White House press briefing room and told the children to get over it. Do your job. The Obama administration separated children. Do you remember the outcry over that one? The Bush administration separated children. Do you remember the outcry over that one? But Democrats are only happy when they get their way, just like a 5-year-old child. They refuse to compromise. They don't want to give Donald Trump an inch on border security. So instead, once again, they play the mainstream media like a finely tuned instrument, and they throw a tantrum to try to get their way. No more. Stand strong, Mr. President. I couldn't have been more proud of what he had to say yesterday about this. Cut 27, please.
We have the worst immigration laws in the entire world. Nobody has such sad, such bad, and actually in many cases, such horrible and tough. You see about child separation. You see what's going on there. But just remember, a country without borders is not a country at all.
Got it? It's the truth.
The Trump doctrine is, we're America, bitch.
All right. Write it down.
Here, here.
Did you like that? Mm-hmm. Katie Bailey at a Maroon 5 concert?
Nice.
I like that. 314-241-9797, 866-455-9797. We'll get to more of your phone calls. You're listening to the Mark Cox Morning Show.
Follow the show